Hello, fellow Voyagers. Jess here with Odyssey Human, here today to talk about the hidden blueprint to embody your ideal self. Welcome to the channel. This is a place where we help you hack through the jungles of consciousness so that you can discover the hidden treasures inside of you. My friends, it's all there, ready and waiting to be activated by you. If that sounds good, please subscribe. I'd love to have you join the channel. And today's idea comes from some of the experiences that I have had over the last few days of observing people. And I kind of started to notice a pattern. And this actually came from something that started in myself, where I got this wild idea to do something really drastic. Something that I have done before, but that it's been a long time, to potentially travel somewhere and to this very exotic location, and I, for some reason, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go there again. I'm gonna spend some time there. And I watched myself completely transform into the version of me who believed that I was gonna do that. And it was kind of in response to some of the other things that were happening in my life. I figured maybe this was a solution to some of the things that were happening, and I don't know what is going to happen, if I'm going to go there or not, but it was interesting because I watched myself become the person who was going to go to this exotic location. I literally, once the idea was planted in my head, I started telling the story that, oh, I'm going to go there for the winter. That's going to be my plan. I'm going to go there for the winter. And I kept building on the story. I literally latched onto the story and started telling it. And I could feel myself transforming into this person who was going to do that. And it was so interesting because my entire orientation changed. Like, my attention then shifted to, oh, well, I'm going to be away for the winter. So XYZ, I started to then simulate myself as that person, as that was going to happen, as this, the mental calendar that I had suddenly was like, oh, okay, from then to then, I'm going to be away at this place. And so it was so interesting. It was so interesting to watch myself completely ignore the 3D, right? Completely ignore what other, things I had going on, and be like, well, I'm doing this for the winter. This is where I'm going. I'm going off to this place. And so it was just really fascinating, and how I nestled into that story. And I realized that the blueprint to to embodying your ideal self is answering the question. Here it is. What are you committed to? What are you committed to? Your commitment is going to be reflected in your behaviors and your choices. Your behaviors and your choices. So in my instance, right, my behaviors, like, I started to simulate being that person, being in that new place, doing the things that I would be doing in preparation to go to that place. I started to choose from a place of, well, I've earmarked myself being here. And so, my choices then started to mold. And I literally just observed myself becoming a different version of myself who was going to go to this place. Now, again, I don't know if I'm going to go yet. I had enough separation of just observing that I was able to then pull back a little bit and be like, is this really who I want to become? I could see how easily I just fell into the fantasy, because at this point it was a fantasy. Like, I didn't know. I didn't know if I could actually physically make it happen. But I latched onto it, nestled into it, fell into the simulation that was what was going to happen to me, and that I was that person. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for a little while. Our three faculties, right, are our story, our attention, and our habits. And if we drill into our habits, what are our habits really? They are our behaviors and our choices. Our behaviors and our choices. And they're hidden. Why is this hidden? Why did I title the hidden blueprint, because what we're committed to will reflect in our behaviors and our choices, right? We'll orient our behaviors and our choices towards what we are committed to. So if you're fully committed to your manifestation, to reality creation, of bringing forth the person that you want to be, the version of you want to be, the reality that you want to inhabit, your behaviors and your choices are going to align with that version of you that's how you embody that version. And so if you're not quite getting what you want yet, if you are not seeing what you want to see, if you don't feel like you are that person yet, here's the question. Here's what is hidden from you, is your commitment, right? Your commitment. What are you actually committed to? In the example of my story, I was fully committed to going away for the winter and being in this place, and going through all of the steps that it would take to get there. I was fully committed to doing that. A few minutes before I'd made that decision, I wasn't fully committed. I literally transformed into that person just instantly. And so whatever results and outcomes you're getting comes from your commitment, because your behaviors and your choices are going to align with your commitment. Here's another example. I went to a mock interview this week and I was the interviewer, and I got to interview some individuals who were doing a lot of personal development, trying to make their lives better, trying to go for a new position, create career opportunities for themselves. So I was there to help out. And so I got to witness what they were committed to, because each of them they told a story with their body language, with the words that they were saying, with how they literally, pronounced their words, where they looked when they were speaking, like if they looked directly in our eyes as interviewers, or if they were kind of searching for thought because maybe they hadn't really prepared for the mock interview. Even how they entered the room, right? All of their choices and behaviors were aligned with their commitment. And it was really interesting to see 3 different people, what were they committed to? The first person kind of came in and was using a cane and just kind of had this really interesting energy of, I don't know, this woundedness, this woundedness, and this having to get by, that there was a commitment to being wounded. And it reflected in her answers. It reflected in how she held herself. The second person came in and had this energy of being a go-getter, and everything aligned with that, like the quality of her resume, how she spoke, how she held herself, the answers that she gave. Was she perfect? No, it wasn't perfect, but it all aligned to her commitment. And then the third guy was really interesting. He actually described himself as lazy. His body language was very lazy. He was very relaxed in his chair, laid back. He just was had some of this that kind of I don't know, very non-committal. And so that laziness of what he labeled himself, that was apparent in everything that he was doing. That was his commitment. So all of these 3 people, their behaviors and their choices were aligned with that. So let's circle back to why it's hidden. We don't always know. We don't always see the effects of our choices and behaviors, right? If I were to ask you, tell me about somebody close to you and what their faults are, you could probably rattle them off in 20 seconds. Oh man, they really need to work on this. They do this thing that annoys the crap out of me. It's very easy to see in other people what their commitment is And if they're not committed to changing, that how people can feel like they get stuck and they can't really see what they are doing wrong or how to jump between versions of themselves, and the question that we need to ask ourselves. And so this is what happens to us. Sometimes it's hard to see behaviors that we've done so many times that they're automatic, or choices that we've made so many times that are automatic. Right? We may, at a young age, have started to choose out of fear. Like a lot of people do this. They will choose, they are committed to fear, right? When the fear kicks up, oh my gosh, I could never have my own business. How could I possibly do that? I have to feed my family and I need my job. And, that is a commitment to fear. And so when they try to then overcome that, that's when they can't quite see that their commitment is to fear, and all they have to do is shift their commitment. So I want to ask you, if you want to get results, if you want to be a new version of yourself, if you want a new reality, change your commitment. What are you committed to actually? Because just like in my case, when I committed to that, the going to that place for the winter, I was fully committed. I was fully 100% committed. And then I literally transformed mentally into the person that like I could feel the wheels, like I've just transformed and it's going to happen. I could feel it heading that way. So, what are you actually committed to? Start to look at the behaviors and the choices that you're making and ask yourself, are they fully committed to the realization of your end outcome? Are you being it fully? This is how to be it fully. A lot of people talk about the art of being, just be it. This is how you be it, where you choose it so fully and completely that you align your behaviors and your actions with that choice. And if you feel like you're not making progress, you're not embodying your ideal self, it's because you're jumping between versions, right? You're half committed to this, you want to be safe, but you're also kind of committed over here too. And that pull and push energy of yes but no is really exhausting. It's very exhausting. It's very makes us burn out quickly. So, what is hidden from you? There's nothing hidden. This is the secret hidden blueprint, is what are you committed to? Ask yourself, what are you really committed to? And go cold turkey on the old version. Go cold turkey. Last week I decided I was going to go fully keto diet with intermittent fasting, like go from eating 3 meals a day and snacking and eating sugar and carbs. I did a total 180 and decided, I'm going to go full ketosis diet. So no carbs, no sugar. I only eat 2 meals a day and I fast the other 20 hours. It's a pretty extreme shift. And at the mock interview, I was sitting with everyone as they were eating pizza and they were saying, you're so strong. You're so strong to do this. And I'm like, no, actually, I'm fully committed. I'm fully committed to this diet. Like, I can go, that old version of me, could go eat sugar all the time, can go eat carbs all the time, can go off my diet and slack and do all the other things I was doing. That I can easily be that person. But I'm fully committed to embodying this person who's on a ketosis diet, who is fasting 20 hours a day, and go all the way with it. Go all the way of being it. And I'm like, I'm not going to break. Like, I'm a brick wall. So, ask yourself, to embody your ideal self, where in your commitments are you holding yourself back? Is fear one of them? Are you afraid? Are you more committed to fear in your decision making, in the choices and your behaviors, than you are to your new outcome? Often that's what's holding us back is fear. We're more committed to fear and we'll act from a place of fear. That's what most people do. They're more committed to fear. To the fear of being seen as delusional, to the fear of it not working out and being disappointed, to the fear of the unknown, of, right, embracing this new reality, to the fear of, any of the other fears that come up. It's often we're more committed to fear. So if you're committed to fear, remember, wherever you are now, you can return to that commitment. But to really embody the new version of you, the one that has it, the one that knows they have it, the one that is proud that they have it, you need to fully commit to the new version. Fully commit. Go all in. And you'll feel it. It will feel natural. When you fully have stepped into those shoes, it will feel natural to you. And that's when you will see it in the 3D, because you are it now. That's how to become it, how to embody it, how to literally take it on, become it, and make it a reality for yourself internally first, and then it will externalize. So I hope that was helpful to you. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Drop a comment below. I'm happy to engage with you. And if you need a free tool to help you start to recondition your mental landscape to make it more peaceful and a more happy place to be in your mind or internally, check out the description box. I always have that tool below for you. So thanks again.